Wish you all a happy Independence Day and welcome to this special episode of Investors Hangout. This weekly interaction to help you learn and understand savings and investment issues is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Today, as we celebrate Independence Day, let's delve into some ideas that will take us to financial freedom. And to help us do that, we have with us Dhirendra Kumar. Welcome, Dhirendra. Now, first up, why don't we begin with some small steps that one can apply in their daily lives to step towards financial independence?
No, just becoming little thoughtful. Initially, don't obsess about money and finances because then you are learning, you're getting started, early stages, you don't earn much. But I think it is very important to be conscious of what is going on. What are your priorities? Setting your priorities, and that doesn't mean not having fun. But at least becoming sensitive with, becoming conscious of it. Because many a times initially I feel that, most of the impulsive, big spending decisions happen because you are not thoughtful about it. Initially my idea is, my suggestion will be that form some habits around it. Be thoughtful about it. How much you earn, how much you spend. This can be done only if you have don't get into too much of accounting. It's not an official accounting. You have the freedom of spending the money you would like. But have a broad sense that how much money is spent on your food, how much money is spent on your travel, how much money is spent on your, housing, if you are living alone. If you have this broad sense, then you will be able to think that, okay, where is the rest of the money going? Being aware of this framework, developing a framework I think is a very crucial thing.
Okay. Also, financial independence means different things to different people. So what, according to you, is a broad definition of financial independence?
Financial independence to me is, doing things you like. And doing things you like means not doing things you dislike. And not doing things you dislike means you should have money to make that choice. And that is what, that is where money comes into play.
All right. So now, how can young professionals, what are some concrete steps for young professionals to be able to start their financial freedom journey?
Investing is postponed consumption. So when it comes to investing, which means that you will not be able to spend that money. So it's a very, spending money is a very pleasing thing. You enjoy it, right now. Right away you are able to avail it. So think of all the things that you will have objections to. The objection, and you will find excuses, and our mind actually finds excuses. If you ask this question yourself, you say, "Agle mahine karenge. I'll have some more money, then I'll do it." Then you will think that, oh, the market is very expensive. Let it become cheaper. When it becomes cheaper, then you think, let it. Now it's in a crumbling mode. I really don't want to lose money right now because it's losing money. So procrastination, and you will lose time, and this is actually the biggest folly. This is the biggest problem. You should start with an index fund if you can't choose a good fund. If you can't choose a good fund, pick an average fund. If you can't pick an average fund, take the most riskiest fund and do a SIP. Automate this process so that you don't have to decide every month. What gets set, you will be able to get the results. And if you want to keep a margin that you can save 5,000 rupees a month, but you are a little unsure that maybe 4 months from now I'll need to spend some more money. Do for a little less money. Take that one, pause your SIP for a month. The month you need to spend. Get rid of your objections. Get rid of all your excuses. Get started somehow. Somehow get started, and that is now. However small. Then you will have all these excuses. If you can't really do an index fund, if you can't do an actively managed fund, you can't do a hybrid fund, do a recurring deposit. At least you're assured. But you will see the magic of compounding, however low rate. Because your initial years are habit forming ones.
Right.
And if you don't fall in habit, it will never start.
All right. So be mindful, then take the plunge anyhow.
Take the step.
All right. Then what role does passive income play in achieving, financial independence?
Passive income means different things to different people. If you are actually having fun and that is your job, that could be passive income. And that could be for a minority of people, tiny minority, but nevertheless it could be, because you will think that, okay, you're doing what you're enjoying and you're getting paid for it. But in financial arena, what it is called is, you put your capital to work. It is able to generate income. And I don't think in your working years, you should be aspiring for passive income. You should be targeting a day where you will be able to accumulate enough capital, which will generate enough income for you, so that your capital will also keep growing. And in relation to that, that income will also keep growing over years. And you will never, having enough capital so that you don't run the risk of outliving your savings, your capital. That is, that is financial security, and the return that it will generate is passive income. Because if you're not spending hours to earn it, which means your money is working hard, money is generating that income, that is being referred as passive income.
Okay. Now, finally, how can one balance between saving and enjoying life in the present? Because that's how, the young generation functions these days. So,
how can one balance? I don't think there's a very easy definition, because, what is important for me may not be important for you or for somebody else. And the context can change. It can also change in relation to your income. It could mean different things, but I think the most important thumb rule that everybody should follow, or, you should be conscious of it. If you are spending some money to impress others, that is the most wasteful expenditure. And that is something which one should be very conscious of, careful about. That's one. Second is that, try and classify that, which investment is going to really optimize your productivity. If it is going to improve your quality of life, is able to save time, is able to bring in efficiency in the way you work. I think that could, understand the pros and cons of, that capital expenditure. And just be conscious of even the spending for pleasure, because that is important. That is what you have. But make sure that, you're not spending obscene amount of money, and that in, unusual scale of money being spent is something which you have to calculate. So these are rules which you are able to, in your initial years, if you are able to formulate this. But at the same time, I'm just reminded of one question which I got, which I received 20 years back on Value Research Online, that somebody who has done his SIP and he has saved that money, and that money had become enough money so that he could buy a Royal Enfield motorcycle. And he wanted to buy it. So instinctively, it actually occurred to me that this may not be a very wise spending. But then it also crossed my mind that at his age, when he's enthusiastic about buying a bike of that kind, which is costing so much money, and he is very excited about it, and it looks like an important thing to him right now, I thought it was a worthwhile spending, because you can't really, there are things which you can have it now. You can't have it 10 years later. You can't have it when you're 48 years old. You will have enough money, but you won't have the enthusiasm to actually enjoy it. So maybe some of those, one or two such things which is really, aspirational for you, or go for it. But make sure that, you're unlikely to go bankrupt.
Okay. So if one has to sum up, set your goals, be mindful of your spending, and don't procrastinate. Start investing right away. Okay.
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So that's about achieving financial freedom. Now, moving on to the viewer's question that we've got today. Karthik is 37 years old. He's an overseas Indian. He has been investing in mutual funds using the portfolio planner under growth category for nearly 2 years now. He's accumulated nearly 1 crore and is also planning to continue for about 8 more years, planning his early retirement at 45. So is it the right time to start diversifying now? If so, please help him and let him know how to start. Then he also says that, should I liquidate a percentage of invested funds and reinvest in debt, or should I split my upcoming investments between equity and debt? I have another question. Okay, he says he has another question. He has a couple of bank fixed deposits valued 10 lakh at 7% interest. He doesn't pay taxes on FDs as they are under NRE accounts. So should he consider them for his diversification?
You have enough diversification. In fact, you have enough and meaningful and very fine diversification. What our portfolio planner does is, based on your scale of investing, it is able to spread your money over in funds which have good history. The moment your scale grows, it is able to spread your money across different fund managers. That is why portfolio manager, you will find that if you are investing ₹1 lakh or if you intend to do a ₹1 lakh SIP, it will recommend 4 or 5 funds. It will also include an international fund and 4 other funds which will be of different fund family. And most of the funds recommended are diversified vehicle. They will not be small cap, mid cap, and it is a vehicle which will be spread over all of it. So by virtue of these 4 or 5 funds which you have been which you have methodically invested, and you have been able to accumulate this sizable amount of money, is very well diversified. In fact, it is beautifully diversified. Don't fiddle with it, and don't add anything more. If you need to add some more money, then invest in these funds proportionately. Don't even think of adding any more fund unless you have something you are very convinced about and you need to add one.
This 10 lakh, he wants to know if he should consider it for diversification between equity and debt.
No, if his investment worth is 1 crore rupee and this is 10 lakh rupees, I think he should just think in terms of this is his fixed income allocation and emergency fund. 5 years before his retirement, the amount that he is likely to need in first year of, whatever he is likely to need as income in his first year, that should be in fixed income. Build a 5-year buffer, methodically exit from that. And, at that point, he should consider, instead of redeeming the investment, even the incremental money that he's going to invest in the last 4 years, that should be invested first, and then he should redeem after doing his budgeting. That way, he will have 5 years of income requirement at face value, and that will also keep growing. So that should be in fixed income, and he will be assured of, no uncertainty about his income, and he will be, he can really retire early at 45, and he will be financially independent.
Well, that's all we have for you in today's episode. Keep watching this space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care. Bye for now.